Some channels on YouTube can leave you with an uneasy feeling deep inside, like you've just watched something that you weren't supposed to. Others seem pleasant, but in reality hold some of the darkest secrets on this website. I'll be covering some of both in this video, and by the way, welcome to the most distressing YouTube videos too. In my unnerving YouTube videos video, I mentioned a channel called Fake Mistress. I also said that I'd cover it in this video. Fake Mistress is a channel that was created in March of 2010 that houses 4 very interesting videos. Although these videos are up to your own interpretation, many would personally receive these videos as pretty odd, if not downright unnerving. White Noise 2 is a video that I covered in the aforementioned unnerving YouTube videos video. It contains grainy footage in what may be a kid's room with childlike animal toys, or statues? I don't really know. In the background we can hear some incomprehensible muttering, seemingly of someone in some type of emotional state, whether that be positive or negative. At the end of the video we see mention of a place called the Neurotitan Gallery. We'll get back to this place later, but it is important in tracing back the meaning and origins of this channel. The next video on the channel is called "This is not the place for the luxury of love." In this tent, we're presented with some very pleasant individuals, namely the eyeless bird, waving guy, and the eldritch horror animal rocking back and forth. The gang's all here really. And of course, you already know that the audio is more of the same, although personally this video's audio is creepier than the previous to me. Something about the reversed voice along with the perpetual low note reverberating in the background gives me a deep sense of dread, or possibly just tension, but either way, it's not a very good feeling. In the end, we see someone walk out of the art exhibit before it again states that this is at the Neurotitan Gallery. Our second to last stop is a video titled "I Will Survive.mov. This video as usual takes place in one room, however this room in particular is especially unnerving to me. The background audio combined with the visuals almost gives me the impression of a building someone was locked inside for years, and after nearly going insane from loneliness, they attempted to create friends out of scraps that they found throughout the abandoned building. The audio just adds to this perspective, something like the person just recorded whatever sounds they could conjure up that remotely sounded like anything other than themselves, the only person that they've been with for years. Now I know that that was pretty intense, but that's kind of the beauty of this type of art. No matter how strange, each person can interpret it in their own way. The final video on this channel is titled "brandnewworld.mov. To me, this is easily the most odd of all the videos. Even the comments are pretty creeped out. This feels like a backrooms level, like you just walk through an infinite plane full of art exhibits until you enter this final one. It seems like this is depicting some type of evolution in humanity, possibly that eventually humans will no longer look human and instead much more animalistic, crouched down on all fours with a bird's head. The creepiest part is near the end where you see a hat propped up above a chair attached to some headphones. Perhaps this is supposed to represent some type of mind control device or a state of constant thinking, never really being able to focus on one thing as the world continues to rapidly change around you. Oddly enough, this is the most unnerving part of the entire video series to me, specifically because of how the audio sounds as the camera pans into the hat. It literally sounds like you're going insane. I guess after all that existential terror, you're probably about ready to figure out who the creative mind behind this is, right? Well, if you check the description of these videos, it mentions someone named Olivia Pils, also of course known as Fake Mistress. If you look up the Neurotitan Gallery that they commonly showcase their exhibits in, you'll notice that it's located in Berlin, Germany. I say this because if you look up Fake Mistress, a simple Google search will bring you to this website, oliviapils.de. The website states that Fake Mistress used to be a part of a band called Fake Masters, but now does solo work. The site also explains why the background audio is so odd. The music she composes and performs live is a mixing of field recordings, her own recordings of instruments, and cut-ups of old classical orchestra music vinyls that have been processed using Linux and open source programs only. According to the news section of the website, she still hosts art exhibits. I guess host is the right word. So if you're German and genuinely interested in this type of art, I'd recommend supporting their work. A channel made in 2011 with 27 videos and a collective 1,073 views may not seem like much at first glance, especially since the videos themselves seem to be pretty ordinary things talking about life and other mundane activities, not atypical for that time on YouTube. However, this channel as usual holds a very dark secret. The owner of this channel is named Cyro Ramos Nogueira Filho, and he is currently serving a sentence of 95 years in prison. But for what, you may ask? Well, let's just say he owned a lot of indecent files on his computer. And when I say a lot, I don't mean like 100. I mean like 30,000, over 900 of which were videos. He gained most of these from a Russian website that was full of people into the production and consumption of this type of media. Of course, to make it even worse, he did in fact participate in the creation of it himself using an individual that was under his care. Apparently, he also has kids that are now adults who claim to not have ever been treated the same way as the child that was in his care recently. His arrest was a part of a widespread Brazilian crackdown on this type of content due to the website presumably being raided and I'm guessing everyone's personal info being dumped. Now this small and seemingly boring channel has an entirely different meaning. If nothing else, I'm glad that he's caught, and I'm more glad that he'll never be free again. How has nobody covered any creepypasta in an analog horror format? That's a question I'm definitely sure you've asked at least once before. Well, there is in fact a channel that can fulfill your wish. Stuffy Studios was created in 2019 and currently has 23 videos. The actual creepypasta videos take up a small percentage of the channel, numbering only 5 in total. The majority of the channel has videos surrounding a series called Sneaky Snack Bar. It's more or less a typical analog horror series, although I would recommend it specifically for the art because that's really what stands out. There are 12 main series episodes and some extra unlisted episodes, so it takes a little bit of time, but if it's something you'd be into, I'd recommend you look into it. Now back to the creepypasta videos. I first discovered this channel while looking for new analog horror videos to feature in the intro of my unnerving YouTube videos video, and while looking around I happened to stumble upon the Smile Dog analog horror video. Of course, being a fan of creepypasta, I had to click, and that's when I discovered the other 4 videos. These 5 videos, all based on different creepypasta, build around the already established stories, sometimes adding their own elements to the plot and other times recreating it as best they can. Since this won't be a channel analysis, I'll only get into the video that I stumbled upon in the first place. The Smile Dog video starts off with the experience of a guy named Wyatt who received a strange message from an anonymous user. This message contained an image of a dog smiling with human teeth in its mouth. After seeing the image, he tried to go to bed and forget about it, but he soon realized that he couldn't get the dog out of his head. As it floated around in his mind, the dog continuously repeated to spread the image. After this, we immediately move on to an old cartoon wherein we're shown a dog who is desperately trying to go to sleep, unaware of the unnerving figure that's lurking in the same room. After finally going to sleep, the dog is presumably corrupted by the figure, and we get this imagery. It's pretty creepy and allows this mysterious dog to have some type of backstory. Overall, this channel is creative and has a lot of potential, so I'd highly recommend checking it out if you're into that type of content. Triple Jointed TV is a pretty mundane channel boasting 460 subs and 16 videos. These videos contain the channel's owner doing activities like fishing, bowling, and talking about sports. Now if you've come from my unnerving YouTube videos video or happen to know who this guy in the thumbnails is, then you already know where I'm going with this. I won't go as in depth as I did in the previously mentioned video, but I'll briefly explain. On Easter 2017, Steve William Stevens, the man depicted in several thumbnails and the channel's owner, proceeded to get on Facebook Live and rant about his issues in life, before exclaiming that he had taken the lives of several people and would take more. Afterward, he proceeded to take the life of 74-year-old Robert Godwin on camera, exclaiming that he was doing it because of his current girlfriend. After this, he would go on the run before eventually being caught a few states over, and after a brief police chase would take his life. I guess those fishing videos don't seem so innocent now, huh? I've mentioned several YouTubers that have taken lives or generally harmed other people. However, I've never talked about a YouTuber that may have had something bad happen to them. I was first introduced to this user through Pixel After Dark's video titled The Disappearance and Death of YouTuber wongnu, a video I recommend you check out after this one. Wongnu has a very odd channel, something like a weird art project combined with an alternate reality game. Out of the 94 very odd videos on this channel, only one passed 1,000 views. This video is titled, I Don't Know What to Say. It begins with an animation and text in the background describing Wongnu's very negative outlook on life and themselves. They talk about being worthless and not knowing what to do with life at all. The last sentence is, I hate you exactly like I love you all, and as I love everyone. 3 years after this video, a Twitter with the handle wongnu began to post about what supposedly happened to the YouTuber. They say that they participated in a game in which after 3 days they would take Wongnu's life. To add more context, they explained that they first discovered the small channel off of a Reddit post, I relate, and then proceeded to become a fan as they assumed it was an ARG. After following the channel for a while, they eventually played the Tempura game, a game on Wongnu's website which subsequently caused the end of Wongnu's life. Conveniently enough, they also wrap everything up in a nice little bow by stating that they'd be ending themselves because of how insane Wongnu really was. And of course, just so that Wongnu would surely be dead to his small community, this page also posted that they had actually saved everyone by taking his life as he had planned a mass attack on his college in the future. That was supposed to be his special day. Surprisingly enough, although I do sound skeptical, there is at least evidence to back up that Wongnu was fine using imagery and footage from these incidents in their art, so it's possible that this is true. Some videos that fall into this category are, I have a Facebook page because I'm like you, Dream, every night at 3:33 a.m., and Bang Bang, the Day of Liberty. That last one is by far the most concerning name out of all of them, but this doesn't mean that anything claimed on that Twitter profile was true. After all, this could have been part of a much larger game or even a stunt to push his art, and in the end it failed, so he made sure to perform his own character assassination. Anyone can make a YouTube channel. I think that this series reflects this statement very well. A series of channels that also reflect this statement are Jonathan Zememus, Carol Kipsigis, Graduolus. Even by first glance, you can tell that there aren't really any innocent videos on these channels. For example, on the Jonathan Zememus channel, this is what the most popular video is called. Here are some other titles. Yeah, this is another one of those type of people. This guy goes on many tirades about his views on religion, society, and politics, unashamedly speaking about his attraction to those that aren't even able to get a driver's license yet. Obviously, that's already disturbing enough, but as always, it does get much worse. On November 15th, Jonathan Carroll will be arrested in his hometown of Morgantown, West Virginia. He would eventually be sentenced to 3 years in prison with 10 years probation, and of course he was forced to register into a certain registry. Not only did this man unashamedly share his sick desires all over the internet, but he also attempted to act on them as well. Luckily, these were only through the internet, but he still may have traumatized someone for life. Either way, he definitely belongs in a video such as this one. The amount of unnerving channels that are on this website is still unknown, but today we've been able to cover 6 of them. In the future, I'm sure I'll be able to introduce you to many more of them. If you have any that you've stumbled upon and want me to cover, you can always send me suggestions on Twitter or Instagram at Girisco, linked in the description. Thank you for watching, and have a good day.